How's it going, cosmonauts? I'm Cosmic and welcome back. Today we're back with something a little bit different. Today we're actually going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the upcoming Spider-Man movie, that being Spider-Man Brand New Day. Disclaimer, before we get into this, I did want to state that I am going over leaks that I personally have already heard of. I am not looking for leaks, and I am also just comparing comic moments to what I think could end up happening or who could show up. None of this is all speculation at the end of the day. None of it's solid evidence. But I guess there's certain things that line up, so as you'll see when we get into this. So, the first leak that I wanted to start with that I saw is it's somehow MIT is evil. MJ and Ned go to MIT in this. I don't remember. I think Peter does too. I don't remember. Actually, he doesn't get in, doesn't he? I don't remember. I need to rewatch No Way Home. They're saying something at the school is evil, so I think it's personally a teacher or something like that. But before we go through this, I did want to state this is all the villains that they cannot use, because they did state they're not reusing live action villains. So we cannot use Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Sandman, Venom, Lizard, Electro, Rhino, Vulture, Shocker, Mysterio, Kraven, Morbius, maybe Null, and most sadly to me, my boy Carnage. In the editing for this video, I actually found out there are 2 more Spider-Man villains that we can no longer see that are in the MCU. And you may be asking, Cosmic, when did we see those? Those 2 villains actually end up being from Far From Home. So, you remember the water elemental? Yeah, that's Hydro Man. You know the water-based villain from the comics? Yep, they turned him into a fucking water elemental. They did the same thing to Molten Man with the lava dude.
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Rip these really cool characters. I would kind of like to see them since they're kind of unique and kind of niche. I mean, everyone knows Hydro Man. The animated series used Hydro Man instead of Sandman, so if you watch the animated series, you know who Hydro Man is. And they turned him into the water-shaped man. I don't believe Into the Spider-Verse is affected. Since we are getting Tombstone, in fact played by the person that voices him in Into the Spider-Verse in this movie, which would be really cool to see, since, bro, he is Tombstone. Look at the man, it's perfect casting. But I do think it will be a teacher at the school, but like I already said, it can't be Dr. Octopus, it can't be Kirk Connors, so who else could it be? I am very sad it can't be Connors, because I'd love to see Lizard, because I'm sad that every time we see this man, he can't wear the lab coat for more than 2 seconds. That leaves me with one villain, and I think the villain that is behind everything in this is a man named Miles Warren. So, Miles Warren was a biochemistry teacher that taught at Empire State University, and he was trained in genetics under the High Evolutionary. Miles was a creep who fell in love with one of his students, that being Gwen Stacy. After the Goblin killed her, Miles blamed Spider-Man for her death, leading to Miles becoming the Jackal. This villain also is responsible for everyone's favorite arc, the Clone Saga. Woohoo! Now I know I've already lost some of you by just mentioning the Clone Saga, but there's more to this. For a fact, we know this will be the first MCU full movie appearance of the Punisher, not including his solo, because it won't be a full movie appearance, it will just be a short on Disney+. And this will be a team up with Spider-Man. Let's take a big step back. In fact, we're going all the way back to Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This happens to be Punisher's first appearance. So, in this comic, it is shown Punisher is an anti-villain set out to kill Spider-Man. When Frank finally meets our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, he realizes he's been set to kill a good person, which is against his morals. So, him and Spider-Man end up teaming up to take down the person, and the person that sent Punisher after Spider-Man was Jackal. Are you seeing some dots there? And here's another thing. After this, he sends Scorpion to after Spider-Man, which is a character we've been waiting to pay off and Michael Mando to play since Homecoming, which please, let Michael Mando just play the character.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Oh, Jesus. No. Oh, fuck you!
I think he'll do a great job. But the thing is, when Scorpion shows up, he shows up to a hospital room with just Aunt May and Peter Parker, and him not knowing Peter Parker's Spider-Man, he just assumes that he's being played by Jackal and leaves, which is kind of funny. But I know I can hear some of people saying, oh, there's no Gwen Stacy in this universe, and you haven't mentioned how Hulk's gonna be in this movie, and you haven't even mentioned Tombstone. Honestly, I don't know where Hulk or Tombstone are gonna fit into this yet. I could see a storyline where Jackal makes some kind of serum that splits the Professor Hulk back into Banner and Hulk, making the Hulk an actual useful fucking character again. But still, I'm kind of sad that Hulk has never seen Peter as just Peter, and he didn't know that Peter was Spider-Man, so he can't get that panel of like, Hulk remembers Peter, which is kind of sad. Next up, I'd like to bring up the Sadie Sink thing. So, Sadie Sink is cast in this movie, and I don't think we know who she plays yet. I could be wrong, but as of my thought process and as of this moment, we don't know who she's playing yet. Most people think she's MJ, like a proper comic MJ. I don't think so. I think she's playing Jackpot. I guess she's a hero that just, doesn't really want to be a hero. And a very important thing of her character, she is always a redhead. Funny though, it honestly still could be Mary Jane, because Mary Jane is one of the 3 people that has taken up the title of Jackpot, so it could be her at the end of the day. Another villain that I had heard whispers of is Alistair Smythe, whom is the creator of the Spider Slayers, which basically these are robots that J. Jonah Jameson commissions Alistair to make, basically to just kill Spider-Man. So they just show up every once in a while. It's like a filler villain. They show up every once in a while, and it's just like, oh no, we don't know what to put in this week's issue, so we'll make the new Spider Slayer version 8, because 2 months ago he already beat version 7, so we gotta do a new one. Into the final section of this video, which would be going over some characters that I would like to see make an appearance in this movie. We have stated that we're getting a lot of Spider-Man villains, especially ones that we haven't seen before, and personally, I've never been a huge fan of the Spider Slayers, as you could probably tell by me kind of just shitting on them and calling them filler villains, because they are. But I'm going to list another filler villain that I fucking love, and that filler villain being Big Wheel. Ooh, this villain, sorry, I'm going to have to list some niche stuff to talk about Big Wheel's backstory, but stick with me. Jackson Wheel. His name originally, he had to legally change it to Jackson Wheel, because it used to be worse. It used to be Axel Wheel. But he was a corrupt businessman who hired Rocket Racer, who is a superhero who uses a rocket-powered skateboard, or supervillain, sorry. He uses a rocket-powered, kind of like a mercenary, more like Shocker level. But he uses a fucking rocket-powered skateboard. I didn't know this dude existed. This dude's fucking cool. To steal some documents for him, Rocket Racer did that, and then demanded that he be paid another $10,000. And Jackson didn't pay him. Instead, Jackson tried to, he tried to end himself, but that part I still didn't understand. He tried to off himself, where Rocket Racer stops him. Rocket Racer brought up the fact that Tinkerer gave him an upgrade to his skateboard after Spider-Man whooped his ass, and that leads to Jackson having an epiphany, where he ends up hiring the Tinkerer to make him a giant death wheel to cause chaos, like it's Twisted Metal. Only Big Wheel was around a whole 17 years before Twisted Metal. That's probably the only character that's never gonna happen in a movie that I've listed so far. Other than Jackpot, I'm really not sure. Jackpot honestly could happen just because she's in the arc. I really want to see Daredevil. I know it won't happen. They've already stated it won't happen. But I have faith. They stated that the 3 Spider-Men wouldn't show up in the last one. So I'm holding out faith that this moment will happen at some point in this movie. Please. I also could see a She-Hulk cameo happening in this movie. Frankly, I am not a huge She-Hulk fan, so I wouldn't care personally, but I could see it happening since the Hulk is in this, and it's in New York where Daredevil is, so if he does show up, frankly, it's one of his love interests, technically, which is kind of fucking weird. Actually, the more I think about it, it's not that weird. Also, one more thing, I could see at least a poster or a reference to Fisk or Kingpin, probably because he's the fucking mayor. So, I really hope he gets mentioned. I also wonder if there'll be like a whisper of Muse, or if we get to see one of his murals still up, or a whisper of how the anti-vigilante task force took him out. That'd be pretty interesting as well. We are at our last one, and certainly not the least. And I bet some of you saw this coming, and yes, it is Mr. Negative. For those that do not know, Mr. Negative's first appearance in the comics was during the Brand New Day run, so it wouldn't be too insane for him to appear in this movie. And that brings us to the end of the video. I just kind of wanted to spitball some ideas I had, and kind of theories that my brain was firing around for this movie. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you disliked it, you can always dislike it. If you really want to help me out, you can always subscribe. It is free. And we are trying to hit 500 subs by Halloween to celebrate 200 subs, even though I'm not there yet. We're at 190. But I have created a community Discord server. If you guys would like to join the community Discord server, I'll leave a link to that in the description. If you made it this far in the video, you are an MVP. Thank you for watching. Peace.